of not potting.
Was it only a week?
Yeah, it was only a
Yeah,
week.
because we skipped a week. It
Yeah, we
feels like
skipped.
longer.
We skipped a week. We've been
Yeah.
busy. We've been
Yeah.
busy. So
We have.
besides the fact that Cristina hasn't been fucking with me.
Whatever.
No, we've been moving and all sorts of other adulting.
Getting ready for summer.
Getting ready for summer. Is it really getting ready for it, or is it you just has to happen?
Yeah. Tornado.
Mm-hmm. So that's where we've been, and that's why we missed a week. But we're back at it. We're back at it. And no real serious topics today. Just gonna kind of freestyle and bullshit, you know.
Okay.
Keep it light, quick, because we had to get back to doing we need to do.
Yeah.
So even squeezing this time in was just.
No, I know.
Yeah, like how are we gonna make this happen?
We just had to do it because if not, like we don't have time.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable skipping another week.
I know.
Yeah, because I don't want to like lose that momentum of doing this, and then 1 week, and you know how it is. 1 week turns into two turns into three, boom, boom, boom.
Easy because we do have a lot going on. So
yeah. But before we cut the camera on and cut the microphones on, we got finished eating a delicious bowl of Juneteenth ice cream. Shout out to Walmart.
Oh, I was like, what did we eat?
Shout out to Walmart.
Juneteenth.
You know, when I first read that article, I was like, yo, what how can black people be upset about an ice cream being put out to celebrate a holiday that hasn't been getting enough attention to begin with?
You said, how are they getting offended?
How did they get offended?
Okay,
right?
okay.
Then I looked into it and I go, oh, okay, well, they put their Great Value brand name on it. And then there was this other ice cream that was kind of doing the same flavor and yada, yada, yada. And then I was like, you know what? No, just black people just being ungrateful.
Really? You think so?
Yep. I'm standing on it.
Really?
Yep.
I say fuck Walmart.
I listen.
Because they're profiting off of something. And how is that? Are they giving proceeds to something that matters for black people? Like what?
Does that matter?
It does matter. Fuck Walmart.
Listen, who has put up with more black people than Walmart? Who employs more black people
and who gives,
than Walmart?
Who gives Walmart more money than black people?
Exactly. So you can't say fuck Walmart. I'm all for it. I think Walmart should keep it going. And supposedly they went as far as trademark the Juneteenth name.
Walmart did?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
I don't know how true that is, but I heard that from.
Can they do that?
Well, I mean, I guess you could just trademark a name if no one else has done it. Remember when LeBron James? Remember when LeBron James tried to trademark Taco Tuesday?
No.
You remember that?
No.
It was a couple years ago, and he was Taco Tuesday. He was the Taco Tuesday guy for a while, as if it didn't exist already. It was around for a while.
Did it just meant Taco Tuesday to him?
Right, because I guess he just wanted tacos on Tuesday, like everyone else does.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's a whole saying.
Right, it's a whole saying. He tried to trademark it, and I think he got shot down for it because it was used way before. It wasn't like he created it. But supposedly, maybe you could fact check it out. But supposedly, Walmart may or may not. Yeah, sure. While I'm talking, may or may not have trademarked the Juneteenth name. And if they did, shout out to Walmart again.
I hate Walmart. You already know.
Listen. I despise Walmart too. If I have it my way, there will be no more Walmarts. But then it'll just be people would just find another place to pollute. So there's that. So if not Walmart, then nobody else. Or who else?
Okay, I don't see anything about. I just see that they're pulling the Juneteenth ice cream and apologizing, but I don't see anything about the trademark. Yeah, I don't see anything about the trademark.
Did you Google, did they trademark it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just say it might not be true. But let's stick with the ice cream, right?
Okay.
So people were outraged because they put their Great Value title on it, right? Okay. Now, they put great value on everything that they have. So they do it with Rocky Road, they do it everything. Okay. So I don't understand what the big deal about putting it on that would be. Then there's this outrage like, okay, well, clearly, they didn't run this past black people that weren't on the board and yada, yada, yada. But it's like, this is America. This is regular America shit. This is nothing new. I'm looking at it as...
Isn't that a problem?
The problem is that there are no black people on the boards, right?
Yeah.
Have you met one black person that said that they want to be on the Walmart board?
I mean, respectfully, I'm not having these conversations with black people.
I know 10 niggas that want to be rappers. I don't know one person that wants to be on the Walmart board.
So how do you even get on the Walmart board?
I would imagine you start off as a bag boy and you work your way up.
Yeah.
And you probably got to get a college education that Walmart will pay for.
Right.
And you work your way up. If they're just kind of company that grows from within, almost like a Publix deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would imagine you would have to be in the right places. But I also imagine it's probably not impossible to be on this board and be of color. And I bet you there might be people of color on board. I don't know. I didn't fact check this, so I don't know. But it will be hard for me to believe that there's no black people on the board at all. But even if there isn't, let's say there isn't.
I don't think that's hard to believe.
But not in this day and age. You don't think that they would at least have one just to fill some sort of quota?
I don't know if I agree with it.
Okay, so let's stick with there's none.
Okay.
So what? They're taking the opportunity to raise awareness for a holiday that probably half of these people that are outraged about probably forgot about anyway. Let's be real. How many black people out there are really celebrating Juneteenth? And I'll be honest with you. Before Blackish had that episode of the Juneteenth,
yeah,
I wasn't checking for Juneteenth. I knew about it only because I did African American history when I was in high school, and we actually spent a lot of time on kind of learning these things and knowing these things. So I knew about it before the Blackish show did it. But before Blackish did it, people weren't talking about Juneteenth.
Yeah, I know I've heard of it, but like I didn't know a lot about it. Right. And we didn't learn about Juneteenth in school.
If we're being real, I want to guess that most people or a lot of people still don't know about it. And I'm not even talking about just people in general. I'm talking about people of color don't know about it.
Yeah.
Because people aren't really checking for it. So I'm just coming down on, or I'm rolling with the narrative that I don't think black people just ever be happy about anything. and I say that because here's Walmart Walmart could have just ignored it, could have done nothing. And people would have still been outraged. At some point, someone would have been outraged. No one's celebrating Juneteenth. No one's got Juneteenth shirts. No one's got. So now here, Walmart's trying to do it, the mecca of black people.
I guess I know you're like riled up about it. Like, I think if you're going to pretend to give a fuck, at least do it in a way where it looks like you maybe give a fuck. Like, for example, like Target. Mm-hmm. They have this thing where during Black History Month, they highlighted the artwork of actual black artists and put it on merchandise and like had a whole display. And like it was this thing. Granted, I don't know like how deep it got and who really benefited from it. I didn't look into it, but it appeared that they made some sort of attempt to like, we're doing this actually for black people and it's going to benefit black people.
Right.
So, and I don't remember hearing anybody freaking out over that. So I think maybe it's just the execution that is a problem from what I'm gathering.
Can I give you my next hot take?
Okay.
I think it's a rollout for Creamolicious or Creamolicious.
What does that mean?
So during the, in the article, they made reference to an ice cream brand that's black owned and it's called Creamolicious. Have you ever heard of it?
Who's rolling that out?
No, I'm saying I think this could be a rollout, almost like how if you put out an album, right, some crazy shit's going to happen to you, almost like what Kanye does, right, just to get you in the media, just to get things going. So now people are talking about it. For instance, I'm talking about Creamolicious. Before today, I've never heard of Creamolicious ice cream brand. Okay. Supposedly, it is a black-owned brand, and it's been on the market. As far as from what I know, the research that I've seen, I've only seen articles that dated back to mid-summer of last year. So like June, July.
Almost a year ago.
Almost a year ago, right? So from what I understand, it's a newer company as far as being out there in the mainstream. I tried looking up on their website, but their copyright even had 2022. But that was probably because of an update that they did. But I couldn't find anything that was quick, and I didn't care to go down the rabbit hole. So if anyone out there knows anything about Creamolicious, maybe you can,
enlighten us.
But I say all that to say, never heard of it until now. Okay. Now more and more people are talking about it. So what I'm saying is that I think this could be a sneak rollout for Creamalicious because now we're talking about it. And supposedly Walmart used that, one of their flavors, I think it was like red velvet cheesecake or something like that flavor. They use that with their great value brand. So wouldn't this be the perfect opportunity for them to start selling Creamalicious?
For Walmart to sell
Walmart to start, if they don't already. I know Target does from what I've been seeing. I'm not sure Walmart sells Creamalicious. Either way it goes, let's say that Walmart goes, hey, we're capitalists. Let's capitalize on the situation, which they did. They're still getting people to talk about Juneteenth. You can still walk into a Walmart and you can see something which will raise question. Right. Yes, could it have been executed a little bit better? Could they have had a black? Sure, they could have, but we don't know why they don't have any black people on the boards. If they don't, we don't know if they do or they don't, right? But we don't know why they don't. Maybe people aren't going for the job. Who the hell knows? I don't know. But they have this product put out to support something that was, step in the right direction for people of color, or just America in general, not just for people of color, but just to highlight everything that goes on in our history, right? To celebrate that day. That was an official holiday starting last year. Yes. Right? Officially. So here we are now, kind of like the first time we're doing it, and they're Walmart of all places that sells everything is trying to do this. I don't think it's as big as a slap in the face as everyone's out to make.
I don't know. I feel like Walmart is big enough and has enough resources to get this right, to have done this right, to have made a better attempt to, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. It's not, that's my opinion.
No. I'm not taking it away. I'm not taking it away.
I know you don't agree, but I just feel like Walmart has everything it needs to get to do a little better. That's just how I feel about it.
I mean, Walmart can, there's a lot of places Walmart. Listen, Walmart is the only spot that I know, and check this out, in our community, because we live predominantly around people of color, right? Are there any other grocery stores besides Walmart?
Not close.
Not close. The same distance it takes us to get to a Publix, we could get to 3 different Walmarts. We have one right up the road, right? And then in both directions, about 9 minutes away, there's Walmarts. If you ask me, and I say all that to say, Walmart kind of holds down the black community. Like it or not. It sucks, and as crappy as they are, they're here. If there wasn't a Walmart here, then where else would we go? Besides having to travel to...
Well, I'm not going to Walmart.
Well, I know you won't. But what I'm saying is that they're here.
I get it.
Right?
I get it. Yeah.
Right? You walk into the Walmart.
Yeah, I'm not...
It's bonnets and do-rags with a Walmart vest on.
It's not... We're not...
These people get paid money just to do...
We're not.
So to sit here and say Walmart's racist, I mean, come on.
I didn't say
No, I know. No, I'm not saying you're saying it.
I just think they could have done better.
What I'm saying is, okay, sure. Yes. I agree. They could have done better, but I also think that black people just being ungrateful. just being ungrateful about the situation. God, yo, and that ice cream sounded fire too. Now I got to go get some Creamalicious.
Well, you know what? I started reading an article and it kind of like likened it to like Jenny's flavors.
See?
And you know that ice cream's like $15 a fucking pint. Shit is crazy.
Jenny's flavors?
Remember Jenny's?
No. I know. But
like Jenny's, because they have some sort of like cheesecake, strawberry something situation.
I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying now. I thought you were saying it was going to taste like Jenny's.
No, like they were kind of comparing it as far as like flavor variety.
Yeah. Jenny's is on a different level.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. If Creamalicious tastes like Jenny's,
even close,
then I'm all about this rollout. But I think it's a rollout. Okay. Because we're all.
Well, I want to check. I want to look at that ice cream.
Try Creamalicious.
Target. Mm-hmm.
Of course you do. Yeah, because they did a great job. What a great way to take this situation and...
Well, good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
Good for them. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Jesus. You're the worst.
Why?
Oh my God. I swear, I don't know anybody that dislikes black people more than you do.
I don't dislike black people. I just hate the ungratefulness of it all. You know what I'm saying? You know who we should blame?
Who?
LeBron.
Oh my.
LeBron could have trademarked Juneteenth. He wanted Taco Tuesday. He didn't want Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my!
And that's if Walmart got that trademark.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that looked like that was true.
Yeah. But hey, Creamalicious prices better be on Great Values level. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yo,
they have to be like Ben and Jerry's.
Like small?
Well, small. I would think they're small. I would have thought that was a given, but also price point.
Have you ever tried Great Value ice cream?
No.
Yeah.
I don't like cheap ice cream.
It's not cream. It's like
ice.
It's like ice milk.
I'm not doing any of that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. All right. Well, shout out to Walmart. Oh, and Walmart has black Band-Aids. Walmart loves black people. And they didn't say Juneteenth on them.
On the Band-Aids? The
black Band-Aids. No, they didn't say Juneteenth. They're just Band-Aids, the Walmart brand. Because I don't think Band-Aid. No, Band-Aid does sell black Band-Aids.
They should.
I got a commercial for it the other day.
What do you mean?
On YouTube.
Oh.
Because YouTube knows I'm black.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
And it also thinks you're gay.
It does. Not anymore.
Okay.
It just knows I'm black. Okay. Yeah, it fixed it. It fixed it. It thinks I'm a black nerd. Yeah, pretty much. Kind of on point, this algorithm. Did I tell you about the one time I typed in black Band-Aids and Siri put in black Band-Aids and capitalized AIDS?
Oh my God. Yeah. What does that mean?
I said black Band-Aids.
I get it.
And it thought I was talking about a black band with AIDS. That's racist. Siri is racist. Mm-hmm. Siri is racist.
Siri has an attitude.
I've said nigga and it typed in Nigger.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep. I had to go in there and fix it.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you can fix like the way you say things. And
I need to speak or fix how she speaks to me and I can't.
I don't know why your Siri has an attitude with you.
And I can't find anything to change it.
Siri knows you're spicy. Listen to you all day long. Beat on Siri. Yeah. Well, what else is the world putting out to us? No baby formula. That's still an issue. Big issue.
Do you know anyone that has a baby that's having problems feeding their baby?
Ooh, are you saying that this isn't true?
I don't know. That's just a question.
No, I don't.
I don't know anyone feeding a baby right now that I could be like, are you having trouble? Like, what are you doing?
I know people who are currently feeding babies. I just don't know how they're going about doing it. I didn't ask them, are you getting it from TAP? Are you, formulating it up? But no. So I've never heard anyone say that they're having trouble finding formula.
I saw at Target there was no formula on the shelves.
Zero?
That I did see. Or like one or two of something. That was like a couple weeks ago.
But this taps into a bigger issue. And maybe I don't have the right anatomy to speak on it. Maybe you could kind of take the wheel and go with this one. But the idea that, like, how did we get to this place in society where we're now pushing the idea that babies have to drink formula as if women aren't equipped to, and healthy women that aren't having any issues or anything like that? Because I know that there are some people out there that just have a hard time, or they might be on, some sort of medication that they can't breastfeed on, or shit, they might like to drink, whatever.
Right.
Like Botox injections, and they can't, all sorts of other shit that might be stopping them from breastfeeding. But how did we get to this place in society where now we're so dependent on the production of a formula to feed children as opposed to the way that it was in babies were intended to be fed?
I bet it has something to do with when women started leaving the house. Because who was going to feed the baby and how are they going to get fed?
Right.
And it's not as easy. People say pump. That doesn't work like that. Not for everybody.
Right.
You can only pump so much. You can only pump for a certain amount of time. And at the time, I'm sure workplaces weren't allowing women to pump. Were there even pumps? There's probably like all the things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that had something to do with like a big push. and they just, took advantage. But at the same time, it was like, rightfully so. How are you going to feed the babies if they can't get breast milk?
Wasn't it true that at some point there was a narrative that doctors were pushing way back in the day that breast milk wasn't healthy enough?
Well, it might not have everything like the baby needs. So there was this like marketing thing of like how formula is better for the baby.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
And then they pushed it where it was for breastfeeding was for people that couldn't afford formula.
I don't know about that part.
I think that was kind of like an agenda that they were trying to push.
But I know I remember hearing about, like, even my mom said, like, when I was born, they were, like, real big on, like, breast milk, like, it might not have everything the baby needs. This way you're guaranteed that you're not lacking anything. And it was, like, this big thing, like, pushing formula. Which is fucked up.
It is.
Because it's just, like, you don't even give people a chance to feel comfortable about breastfeeding if they're not educating themselves.
And truth be told, at least in my experience, you are pretty much left to educate yourself if you don't have another woman to help educate you. Because at least from what I've seen with the two women that I have children with, when they handed us the baby, it was like, okay, it was like a quick little course. They make sure that the baby latched on, and then bye, they kick you out the hospital.
Yeah.
They don't sit there and coach you through things and let you know, okay,
you have to go out of your way to then find get a lactation consultant if you run into problems, or have, doulas to support you after the fact. Breastfeeding was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because Zahara didn't take a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to breastfeed, and then no one can help me feed her. And for the first 3 months, I was like, this is going to kill me. It was awful.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a problem with producing?
Well, no. But then also, then it's like you produce too much, because she was on my titties every 2 hours, and then it was engorged, and then your ducts get clogged, and then I understand why women don't want to do that shit. And then if you have to go back to work, then you got to take breaks at work to pump, then you got leaky boobs for never-ending months. It's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot.
But now
it's just am I producing enough? And that's all you're thinking about. And am I eating the right things? That's all you're thinking about. If the baby's gassy, what I eat. It'll consume you. Breastfeeding's a lot.
But now here we are in a society where we became dependent on and I don't want to say crutch in a bad way, but we've become dependent on this tool to help combat that anxiety, to help combat
or the
any
women
problems,
that can't produce,
right? The
women
that can't produce enough, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so now here we are, we're stuck in the spot where there are, from what I've been reading, there are people out there that can't find formula.
Yeah.
For the little ones. And
it sounds scary.
It is. But it's almost like, how do we get out of that rut? Supposedly, Bill Gates. I don't know if you heard about this. I know.
What is he doing?
Bill Gates is. I don't know if he's the founder of the company, or he's buying into this company, or however. But I know he's somewhere in the scenes with this company. It's called BioMilk, with a Q. So BIOMILQ.
Okay.
And basically, what they're doing is they're trying to create human breast.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Human breast milk cells or something like that. Almost like the fake meat, like the lab meat kind of things.
So do you think this has something to do with that?
Well, if I'm putting my tinfoil hat on.
So bizarre.
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to recreate these human cells that produce milk, and so that now they will have this human milk that they can distribute to people in order to help supplement or replace natural breast milk.
Jesus. Yeah.
It's kind of
sounds insane.
Kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know we could sit here in 2022 and say that's weird because we have the state of mind that we have, and we have the understanding that we have, and yada, yada, yada. let's say something like this does go through, right? There's going to come a time where someone's going to look back at who we were, not necessarily today, but who we were, like, let's say back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, where breastfeeding was the thing that we were doing. And they'll look at us and be like, how the hell were they doing that? Like, that's so archaic and animalistic. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As opposed to this new way of doing it where you just have these things that just create in the lab that creates this milk and it supplements to the babies and da-da-da-da. But I would imagine that there would be some sort of consequences behind that.
Yeah, like everything.
Right.
Nothing goes without consequence.
Because you're messing with Mother Nature.
It sounds really scary.
Well, to me, if anything, the thing that kind of horrifies me, kind of scares me, is that we're already pushing into this direction in society where we're seeing people at this large scale care less and less about other people, right? So if you start stripping away, and I know this is going to come out wrong to some people, but if you start stripping away like that bonding experience of breastfeeding, right?
Which is what a lot of people don't talk about. Like, it is a bonding thing too. It's not just, yes, you're feeding your child, but there's something about a bond that happens when you are able, not that it can't happen. I don't want to take away from women that, like, I didn't breastfeed my son. Yeah. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not saying, it's superior and you can never have this bond with your child if you don't breastfeed. I'm not saying that, but there is something to be said about if you are able to, and women will tell you that it is a bonding experience.
Right.
So,
and I got to experience it.
Yeah.
With my first son, we went to the side of formula. I want to say, if I remember correctly, she had a little bit of an issue with producing, and then that created that anxiety that you were speaking to. And so then it was just easier, and it made more sense for her to just push towards formula, because then now I could kick in and I can help take the burden off of her. Plus, it just helped reduce that anxiety that she was having. But my second experience, that woman, she was able to produce all day long. It was to the point where she was producing for other people and giving it away to mothers that were having trouble doing it. But just seeing that bonding experience that she got to have with them, it was something that can't be matched. Right. Just watching that eye contact that took place, or, just even the baby just naturally knowing exactly, they knew exactly where to go in order to get the milk. And then, or even she would know that the baby's hungry before the baby cried, because now her body was just boom, hey,
right,
your baby's about to, and then like clockwork,
it's
boom,
pretty amazing.
So there's something to it. But and I don't want people to think that if I'm saying, okay, well, the reason why people are out there committing these crimes and mass shootings and da-da-da-da is because of lack of breastfeeding. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm just saying, if we move into the society where we move further and further away of these bonding experiences, of doing things, of this connection, yes, it would add a lot more convenience to our life, but it's not like we're filling those holes with that interpersonal communication.
Right.
So even though we're making life easier for us to where we have more time to do things, because things are becoming more expensive, we're just filling our time to find ways to make more money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Not to connect.
So it's not to connect.
Time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This would make sense if we said, okay, well, we're about to do this and we're going to push into this world where now, people have to do less and da-da-da-da.
So and that would spend more time together.
No, it's not. That's not happening.
Yeah.
And it's not happening just because it's not feasible.
Right.
In most cases.
Yeah.
Which is sad, because it should be that.
Right.
Where things are, more and more convenient for people. What Bill Gates needs to do, what he needs to do, is he needs to create more Selma Hayeks. You remember that years ago when she was in Africa and she was breastfeeding the African babies?
No.
Bless her heart.
No, Nathan.
So you don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, she's a hero.
Okay, babe.
She went to Africa. This is real. I'm not making this shit up.
Okay. Of course you know this story.
Selma is a queen. Mm-hmm. She was out there taking care of the babies, the black babies. And
you're only talking about it because she has huge boobs.
Well,
if it was somebody with small boobs, there would have been nobody would be talking about it.
Well, you know, there's some correlation.
You
there,
wouldn't
right?
be talking about
there's
it.
There's a correlation.
Sure.
She's built to feed the needy. You know what I'm saying? Give the woman her props.
You're such a man.
No, but supposedly, when I looked this up, and this had to do with breastfeeding and why more and more people are pushing away from breastfeeding. Of course, one of the things that they mentioned was the fact that men that were with women that were breastfeeding did not like the idea of them breastfeeding because they didn't like the idea of sharing their
part. Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in every single home, and I guess if you're a jealous nigga, another nigga, you know, even if you made them sucking on your woman's tits, crazy. I don't know. I mean,
I could see how it could, you know, get in the way and interrupt time with your partner, or make it that there's less time. I could see that, but it's just like being mad because the baby's on.
I would imagine that's few far in between. But what do I know? It might be a thing. It might be a thing. But also too, and this is clearly not our culture, but there are cultures that believe that if a woman is nursing, and I think that was the case in the country in Africa, was that if a woman is nursing, then a man should not be sexually active with her.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's just an excuse to cheat. I don't know.
That's what it sounds like.
And that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Well, if I can have sex,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, it's probably a man that made that rule.
I'm sure.
Right. Because if they're making all the rules,
they wouldn't allow a woman to make a rule.
So what dude would cut his nose and spite his face and be like, you know what? Nah. There has to be some light at the end of that tunnel where because we can't have sex with you, then we can have sex with the maid or a cousin. I don't know.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? But let's bring back the families. Bring back bonding.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back the bonding. They have these algorithms now, supposedly, that track the amount of screen time that kids have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they're enforcing it, or I want to say Pennsylvania was one of the states that was doing it. I could be wrong. But they reported to DCF as neglect if it looks like your child has too much screen time.
And who sets that? Like,
who's behind it?
No, like who says, okay, 3 hours is too much, or like who came up with those guidelines to determine
Good question.
It's neglect? I wonder.
Good question. When they come out with these new rules, it would be nice if they let these rules be known to everyone. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you are gonna if you're gonna use the algorithm, which we don't even have to go down the rabbit hole of, they could be using that algorithm and they could be using the data that they collect from people and use it for more good as far as protecting the people go.
Yeah.
And maybe they do a lot of protecting of the people, and what we see happening, like the shootings and everything that's been taking place recently, right? Maybe those fell through the cracks. Yeah. And maybe we're seeing 2 shootings that occurred, but 30 of them were stopped. I don't know. So I will be fair and say that it's quite possible. But right now, it at least appears that way. My perception is that it looks like that we're not being protected. It looks like that they're just using these phones and devices to listen to what we're doing to work against us. Even if it's to sell us something, I think that's kind of working against us, right? Mm-hmm. Because if I'm saying Oreo cookies, and then I go into Instagram and now there's Oreo cookies, I'm going to be more inclined to get Oreo cookies, even though I was just having a conversation about it. And now I get to see a commercial where they're taking a cookie and they're spreading it and dunking it in the milk. And now I'm like, oh shit.
I want
one. Exactly. Gotcha. Yeah. But work against this in cases like this where there have been parents targeted for possible child neglect because it appeared that their child was getting too much screen time. Which, again, what does that mean? What is too much?
Yeah, that's what I wonder who sets those guidelines.
What do you think too much would be?
I think it would depend on if we're talking about like school nights or weekends, and like, are there breaks in between? Is it an all the time thing? I just don't think it's that black and white.
I think, yeah, okay, gotcha. I think it is fair to say, though, and I'm sure a lot of people out there will agree, but we do live in an age where the iPad is the babysitter.
Yeah.
And people are taking advantage of the fact that their kids are highly addicted to these things because they're highly addictive devices, right? Not so much Samsung. But no, all tablets to kids are highly addictive. And we take advantage of the fact that, okay, I know if I give him a high C orange and an iPad and some golden grams, whatever kids eat, that kid is not going to leave this spot for the next 2 hours at the very least.
And to give people credit, it's a lot. Like, life is a lot.
Right.
All the things that we have to do, all the hats we have to wear. Sometimes you're just fucking tired. Like, it's hard to be mad at people when you can understand, like, fuck. Like, oh, sometimes you just don't want to hear your kid complain and do all the things and, like, go sit down and get on your iPad. You can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
I understand there has to be boundaries because it's like we have children, we have responsibilities to be parents and do the right things and all of that. But it's just like and then also you're kind of fighting something because everybody's on their fucking iPad. It's not like you kick your kid outside and go play outside. Nobody's playing outside. So it's like in order for them to play with their friends, they're on their fucking iPad because they're talking to their friends on their iPad. So it's just that you're fighting this thing where it's just like, it's almost impossible.
See, that's the problem, though, is that we're not outside. Kids are not outside. Kids are not getting interpersonal communication. For
sure. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm just saying that that's what it looks like.
They're not getting that from the world.
Yeah.
You know, like the kids and everything around them. And according to this, I would even say, even for me, right? My children probably don't get as much interpersonal interactions with us as much as children would have had before iPads, before the internet, right?
For sure.
So I think that's just a blanket statement that we could say about everybody.
Yeah.
If you have an iPad in your home, if you sit your kid in front of a TV, then they're missing
time that would have been spent.
They're missing out on time that they could have had bonding and interacting with people that they would have gotten if this was the 70s, 80s, even 90s, right?
Yeah.
And so we're possibly, because I don't know, we're possibly seeing what the outcome of that looks like. And it's pushing into a society where people don't give a shit about people, where someone can walk into an elementary school and gun down babies, where people can target people because of the color of their skin, you know,
and have no emotion
about it. They just don't care. Yeah. And I know that those people are monsters. So I'm not trying to blanket in and say that, oh, because of that, that's why. I don't know why they did what they did, besides the fact that, you know, it appears that they're just monsters and just people that are clearly not thinking straight, right?
Yeah.
But
there's just too many of those people.
Right. There's too many of those people.
And it's like, we're accepting of it.
Because what did they say? We had 30 school shootings or something like that?
You said that, and I don't remember. I mean,
this year?
Was it this year?
I think I read it. Yeah, I think I read it. It was 30. It was a high number. But here's the thing. It's such a common thing that we're not, it just happens.
I know. And people will be outraged for a little bit, and then it'll go away until the next one.
Well, partly because we live in that lifestyle where we can't even dwell on the idea that 10 people or how many, I think 10 or 11 people were gunned down in a supermarket in Buffalo, right? So still,
like 2 weeks ago?
Right, still trying to digest that.
Yeah.
And now we have, bang,
21 kids and couple teachers.
So even if we wanted to harp on it and we wanted to sit there and we wanted to have discussion and we want to find solutions and things like that, it's like we just keep on getting hit and hit and hit. Now we have monkeypox and it's I know I didn't mean to relate to monkey. That sounds so crazy. Monkeypox.
I can't even. I'm just not even. I'm not giving that any attention.
The best part about the monkeypox, and this was right after that white boy gets on air and starts talking about why he killed the black people. They release an article with monkeypox and it shows a black man's hands, and it just looks in such poor taste. You know, it's like it's called monkeypox, and you show a black man's hands. It's like
we couldn't do better with.
It's like name. Yikes. And then as you read the article, it talks about this was in Europe or like somewhere in Europe where it was alleged that it was spread amongst like a gay nightclub or a gay community or something like that. Yeah, I know. Really? So it's like I would imagine it probably wasn't. It could have been a black man. I don't know, but it just didn't. I don't know. It was just weird. It was just weird. But I digress. Where I was getting to was we live in a society where everything is just thrown at us. Mm-hmm. And then the shit that should be thrown at us that we should be worried about is being tucked under the rug. Like the possibility of Taiwan, you know, and what's going on with Taiwan and China and how we have not really been speaking too much about that. But then we get hit with all these other things. So it's like, even if we wanted to have a discussion about that, which to me, that's a big global issue. Right. We have all these other things that are just, so it's a lot to digest. But my original point, before I got off track there, which happens often in this podcast, is the fact that it feels as if we're really losing that interpersonal communication. Or I'm sorry, interpersonal interaction amongst people. Mm-hmm. And where I was just getting to was I think that what we're seeing, what we're possibly seeing is the outcome of that.
I agree.
And we're seeing a world where, you know,
because then these people who feel isolated or who don't, you know, have connections with the right people do find people like them. Because they say that the man who shot up the grocery store, like he had some sort of network that he was a part of or something, I believe. So it's not like he didn't have people probably bouncing ideas off of each other. You know what I'm saying? Like he was clear. I think it wasn't like he was just a lone ranger. Granted, he did this by himself, but I'm saying like he was a part of something bigger.
Something bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I read somewhere, and I need to fact check it. And when I fact check it, if it is true, I'll name that gentleman's name as the name of the podcast. But I read somewhere that supposedly one of the people that was killed in the shooting in New York was involved in trying to use water as a way to fuel or a way to run motor vehicles, which would cripple the oil industry. If that's true.
Well, I've told you that happens. Well, I've heard of some
stories
of
yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
They get rid of people who even...
They get rid of,
yeah.
If that's true, though.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me. But that would be disgusting. If that was the case. But maybe, or not maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the near future, because typically what happens is when there's one extreme, in order to try to correct the extreme, you just see another extreme, try to fix it. Yeah. So here we are, we live in this free society where we could pretty much do whatever we want to do. You could give your kid an iPad and let them be on it all night long or whatever. And no one's really checking for it, I guess, kind of until now. You know, you have these algorithms. It wouldn't surprise me if we move into this society against our will, but I think a lot of people, a good amount of people would be on board with it in the beginning. But we move into this society where the government says, hey, look, we've given you all these freedoms. However, with all these freedoms and all, you're right, you all can handle it. The country's going to shit. You know, for your safety, we are going to start monitoring you all more. We are going to make it so where, you know, children can only be on an iPad for X amount of time. Or if we see a child looking at videos that could potentially desensitize them, then you're going to be flagged and we're going to monitor you and all these other things. And so I could, that would be a wild world. And it's not a world that I would want to live in, but I could see a world where in order to correct all this or all these shenanigans, there'll be some sort of order or control or something like that. But maybe I'm just being too much of a conspiracy theorist type of guy right now. But
it's definitely possible. And I wonder if people would even like ask for that or want that if we get to a point where it gets so bad.
I think it's safe to say, and this is not me picking on the Dems, but I think the left would 100% be on board with that. And we see it already with the Second Amendment, the abolishment of the Second Amendment, or even trying to make sure that we silence freedom of speech. You know, and I know that's an extreme way of saying it, and that's not what they're trying to do. They're not trying to shut down freedom of speech, but they're trying to, I guess, filter the freedom of speech and trying to take away, you know, or try to change the Second Amendment. And when you start doing those things, I think because their mindset is already there, it wouldn't be hard to go, hey, don't you want to be safe?
Right.
Don't you want to do this?
Yeah.
So let's take it in
the climate of the world right now and all the crazy shit that's happening.
And again, it's not to pick on them, and I don't think they're wrong for
I get it,
wanting to do those things. I don't think they would be wrong if they wanted to live in a world where, hey, we're going to monitor you all a little bit closer, and we're going to hold people more responsible for the things that they allow their children to see or the things that they Google, things like that. I don't think they're wrong for doing that. I'm just saying that if there would be people that would be on board with that, I think it would be easy to turn the blue side to that, and the red side would probably be a lot more resistant.
Yeah, I could see that.
But then, you know, maybe there'll be a good amount of people on the red side that wouldn't be resistant to it because they're sick of, you know, these things happening too. Because if I just say the blue side would do it, then that would be kind of my way of saying, oh, the red side just wants to be all about that, and I know a lot of people that are Republicans, and they're not okay with these things that are going on.
Right.
But that would be the extreme adjustment to all this, because unfortunately, America has shown us that they're not good at balancing out the scales, where you know there is that kind of purple zone where red and blue can kind of come together and make things make sense. There's always this, and just to be clear, this isn't my way of saying that it's the Reds' fault why this is happening. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that would be how that could occur. I don't know. But
it sounds very depressing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
We can start talking about dating again.
Yeah, because I'm like, this is fucking
No, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna get out of here so we can do the things that we need to do. But before we get out of here, I do want to talk about couples therapy for a little bit.
Oh, we haven't talked about that, have we?
We have not talked about it.
Oh yeah.
So we gave you all a warning last episode that we are going to start.
And said we weren't going to talk about it the next time.
Couples therapy. No. We're not going to go into it.
Okay.
I will say this, as I was thinking about how we're going to talk about couples therapy and kind of be engaging to people that are watching it, I started to think, well, we kind of fucked up because there's 3 seasons of this.
Right.
We're the noobs. We just start off at season 1. There are people out there that are probably like, well, what the fuck? We've been on this since what? 2021? When was the first? No, 2019 was the first?
2019.
That was right before the pandemic?
Yeah.
So people have been on this. This is old. It's old news for some people.
Potentially, yeah.
New news for us. Now that I've watched the first season and I see how it is, I think we should now just skip to the 3rd season, watch that,
so we can keep up.
So we can be caught up. So we can at least talk to people that
Where it's relevant.
Right.
Yeah,
to where it's
yeah,
relevant.
yeah.
As opposed to us talking about our experience with the first season. And then, you know, people are like, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Because truth be told, even when we start having a discussion about the show, this is not the type of show where you just break down each episode and then we talk. No. It's just kind of like a blanketed thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Where we were talking about, okay,
and I don't even think we would need to talk about the specific couples. It's just the issues
that'd be
that
too
come
boring, right?
Yeah,
that'd be too boring. That'd be too boring.
Yeah.
That'd be too boring.
Right.
But I will say this, for the people out there that have not started the show yet, I recommend everyone out there that's in a relationship to watch the show.
I agree.
If you could get Showtime or whatever, try to find it for free, or you know, get the little. I think it's what it's $3.99 or something like that for the first 3 months or something like that. I don't know. I think that's what it is. But if you can afford it, take advantage of it and get it.
Yeah.
Because even if you're really not going through anything in your relationship, which I think you're either a liar or you don't love one another, because everyone goes through things in a relationship, right? Even if these things might not pertain to you, right? Because the issues that, at least in this first season, these were pretty heavy issues that I would imagine most people don't face. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I would think a couple of those might have been common.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they were that crazy. Like that people would be like, "Oh, I can't relate." I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But even if you feel like they can't relate to you, just watching how everything gets unpacked and the idea of, or it can even give you a better understanding of how perception really works amongst human beings, right?
Yeah.
Like I've been on this podcast and I've said often, your perception is not reality. Your perception is not reality. And a lot of times when I say things, I make it very known that this is my perception. Right. So it's kind of like a safety kind of measure, because I'm letting you know, like, I understand that this might not be true. However, from what I'm taking in,
yeah, it's true for you.
It's become my reality, but I know it's not reality. And this show really shows you what it looks like when two people are not on the same page, not necessarily because they don't want to be or has anything to do with them being fucked up or anything like that. But what I'm getting at it is,
I know what you're saying.
Okay. Not that they're doing things intentionally to gaslight or piss off their partner.
Which would be the case most of the time. Most of the time, you're not coming into it trying to just knowingly be this asshole piece of shit individual to your partner. Not that that doesn't exist. But most of the time, we're just coming at things with our baggage and our perceptions, which is what I think you're saying.
Right.
Right.
So this show really allows the viewer to be a fly on the wall and see what it looks like when a therapist is breaking something down and you're seeing that one person really sees something one way. Right. And in their world, that's what's real to them. And the other person sees it the other way. And in that world, in their world, it's 100% real to them. But how do we get these two worlds to understand one another and communicate with one another? And I think this show shows triumphs and failures.
Right. I think it's pretty real.
Which is real.
Yeah.
Which is really real.
And then there was a couple in there that's been together for 23 years where you would think at that point you got it all figured out. You've been together that long, but that's also not the case.
In season 1.
Yes.
Right.
So it's very interesting.
Good show.
Yeah.
I'm entertained.
For sure.
And
something different to watch with your partner that could actually bring up positive conversations or necessary conversations, which you don't really get a lot of opportunity for that with watching TV.
No.
Right?
No. Well, At least we really don't, because TV is just it is what it is.
Well, it's
right?
supposed to be a distraction, I think.
Right, and this is more depending on how everyone's set up, because we are set up to where we communicate and we talk about things and we want to know how you see it, or even in a couples therapy, it's like, oh, when he did that, did you notice that? Or I kind of agree with him, or I don't agree with him.
Most people would do that.
I would imagine so. In a show like this,
I think it would help you do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then at the very least,
we paused a lot.
We did pause a lot.
We're like, wait a minute.
It was good.
I have a comment.
It was very engaging for us.
Yeah.
But then I really think it can also be a way to kind of educate people on having a different view at what a relationship looks like and what it really means to share a life and to share an experience with someone and to work through things that has a completely different point of view than you.
Yeah.
And how to talk that out and talk that through.
And that it could be possible, where sometimes you would think like, this is a deal breaker, we're never going to get over this. Where if you might, given the right third party, the right resources, it could be possible.
Right.
And you really should, if you're really in it, try all the things before you throw it away. If there's love there.
Which that's the most important thing, if there's love there.
Yeah. And you kind of see that too.
In one couple for sure,
you
saw that there really wasn't much love there.
Right.
But it appeared that it wasn't that way in the beginning.
Right.
And we're talking about first season. But it appeared and the show makes it very known in the very beginning that couple, it didn't survive therapy.
Yeah.
So it was from the first episode, not even at the end. Like it was they let you know we're getting separated. And then you get to watch their journey as
to get to that point.
How did they get to that point to where they're going to go through with the separation?
Yeah.
And then the other ones.
And sometimes that's the best case scenario. That's okay too. Sometimes you're like, we can't get over this, and maybe we're not supposed to. There's that too.
Right. So at least you get to tie all loose ends. So then when you do walk away, it's in the most amicable way possible. And you don't have to regret or have doubts or anything like that, because that could be hard too, letting go. And then not letting go properly could cause you to be angry, bitter, upset, all these other things, because you're holding on to something that shouldn't have been holding on to.
Right.
But then there is one couple. There is the world that they live in. They're asking for a lot, and it is kind of unrealistic what they're asking for.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Right. And if you watch the show, then you'll be like, oh, okay, I know what they're talking about. And we're not picking on them because of their lifestyle, but as you go through the episodes, you kind of see their challenges are coming from things that they just can't achieve, or will be really, really, really hard for them to achieve because of their
how it's set up
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you live a life with those expectations or that type of lifestyle, then your expectations should change with it. And their expectations were more traditional, even though their lifestyle was the antithesis of traditional.
Right.
But either way it goes, even with that couple, just watching how conversations unfold and how different things are discussed, it's pretty dope. So I think any couple out there can definitely use this as a way to improve your communication skills with your partner.
Yeah, or just have something to connect about, have conversations about,
Yeah.
Just even if you're finding ways to spend time together and like with some depth, like I think that's a good option.
Yep. All right, you ready to get back to real life?
Yeah.
We made it.
Yeah.
We made it. I didn't think this was going to happen today.
I didn't. You were very stern about it. That needed to happen. So I was like, I'm not gonna argue.
I'll be honest with you. If you didn't do it, I was just gonna do a solo show.
Okay.
And I was just gonna rant about people not being appreciative of Walmart and their efforts to support Juneteenth.
Okay.
Creamalicious. Are we going to try Creamalicious?
I would like to. I'm at Target all the time.
Now watch this. If we go to Target and
when I go to Target.
Right. When you go to Target and there's no Creamalicious on the shelf, it's a fucking rollout.
Okay. It
was a rollout.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now. Why wouldn't you know what? I'm gonna get out of here before I go.
Okay. Good idea.
All right. Black people, if you didn't cut off the episode where I was saying you're ungrateful.
You.
We're in this together.
No. I'm not co-signing that.
Black people, if you're still here, we thank you for surviving our conversation where we said you're ungrateful.
Oh my God.
And for everybody else, go get your Juneteenth ice cream. This has been another episode of the Feelings First, Facts Later podcast. I go by the name Nathan Mitchell, and I did this with the lovely Cristina.
Bye.
Peace.